Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's in the chat. Someone's trolling me, said no sound. I don't believe you. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I needed coffee. No, not herbal coffee. Geek of all trades. God damn it. Oh, appreciate you for being here this morning. Thanks for making me laugh. We have All Set Miner, Black Hat Team. Good to see you. Nerd Beast, Crypto for Seniors, Midwest Mining. What's up, man? Tanes, good to see you. Good morning, sir. Cheers to you. Duke Nukem, All Set. Gene, how are you? Jim C, Travelers Travels, LFG for sure. Went through the Bitcoin halving yesterday or last night, and it was very uneventful. It's like watching the ball drop. You think it's going to be exciting, and it's not. I mean, I guess it's exciting for some people that hit the last couple of blocks, but or the last block, actually. It was like insane. Anyways, let's get into this. Everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Bitcoin looking like a $63,975. Not too bad. Ethereum, we are at $3,066. Perfect. We have Solana at $152. Still a pretty decent buy, in my opinion. We have LTC $82, Caspa at 11.5 cents, XRP at 51 cents. We have ADA at 48, which was I bought some at 44 cents. So that was a pretty good buy. Let's see. BCH still down a bit from it's what, like a week ago. It was like $700 after its halving. It's about $490 as of right now. Nothing else really popping out at me. Dogecoin 15 cents, ICP $14.55. Anyways, let's look at the Bitcoin halving stuff. You can see it is complete. Halving status April 19th 2024. We did not make it to Saturday, but it's all right. Look at this, right? Let me see. I was trying to figure out how to use this site. I've honestly never been to this site, but I scrolled over to the last block, which was right here. 840,000, right? That's the block we needed to hit. I guess it was, hold on, let me zoom out. Actually need to get this bar via BTC. Actually was the one that hit that one. Look at this, 37.63 BTC. What? Perfect. Is that what the block reward was? It says fee, but I'm not really understanding this. I was trying to check it out last night because I saw Panda using it and I was like, ooh, that site's cool. It's called Block Chair. I don't know what this is. This is the first time using it, but is the fee, is that what the block reward was? Because that's crazy. And I know everything was going nuts after that, and the fees were like stupid high for transferring any type of Bitcoin. But the 840,001 and then 2 and 3 right above that, it was I guess 4.49, then we had 699, then we had 16. Yes, it is, dude. That's crazy, right? Massive blocks. Crazy. I mean, hey, a Duke into those people. That's awesome. Amazing. All right, let's check out Crypto Bubbles. If you guys want to go back to that, we can check it out. Geek of all trades said, sorry, I stepped away to ship off some orders. Can you start again from the top? Good morning. All right, the biggest loser of the day seems to be Hex, 13.8% down on the day. We're at a penny even. Is this coin, like, what's going on with that Richard Hart guy? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Is there still like lawsuits and shit and he's still running? I don't know anything about this coin, to be honest. I don't know. That guy rubbed me the wrong way always. Whiff down 4.8% over here, $2.80. We got Ton coin down 4.7% to $6.19. We have AR. What is this? Oh, Arweave. I don't know why that looks different. Wasn't that a different logo? It looks like the Amazon logo. What the hell's happening? It's up 8.3% today, $30.07. We have Celestia up 7.5% to $11.69. We have the Pyth network up to 64 cents, up 6%. We have Core up 4.7% to $2.03. ICP is up 8.3% today to $14.59. Sui, if anybody's into that, is up 3.5% to $1.35. You know what? This is another one of those coins that I haven't taken the time to look into. Same thing with Say. I've mentioned that before. Say's up 3.3% today. Sui and Say are two that I need to do some research on. If anybody thinks those are good buys, please give me some info, because I'm interested to look into those. 57 cents over here for Say, and it's up 3.3%, ranked 59th. All right, let's see. Chainlink, if anybody's into that, that's up 3.8% to $14.33. All right, flashbangs, check out the Fear and Greed Index, looking like a 66 over here. That's actually pretty good. That's really good. It's holding the same as yesterday. And It's kind of strange. Went through the halving and this thing didn't even move. Not even one number.
Perfect.
That's good. Whatever. It is what it is. All right. Over here on CoinGecko. Trending coins. 3 trending. We have Brett, Gala, and Blue Zelly. I don't even know if I just said that right. I probably just butchered that. 42 cents, up 4.3% today. I don't even know what that is. Gala, I've heard of that, obviously, 1.7%. And then Brett, the meme coin, is down 5.5. All right, top 10 coins. Coin market cap, or by coin market cap, over here on CoinGecko. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lado Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Toncoin. Looks like we did a little bit of jumbling around here, but we have $21 billion market cap for the 10th spot. Cardano is still in 11th at $17 billion. That's still pretty good, actually. And I still think, again, I'm going to keep mentioning it. I don't care if you guys watch this every day, but 2017 bull run, 2021 bull run, I'd be shocked if it didn't run up at least 6x. That's just my opinion. All-time high is $3.09. You do what you will. It's not financial advice. You're all big boys, big girls. I can't tell you what to do. That's just what I'm doing. I'm investing a little bit into it here and there, as well as DCAing into Caspa, as always. Let's see. Litecoin. I'm mining Litecoin currently. I think this is a very good buy as well. $82. Just my opinion. Again, you guys do what you want. It's down almost 80% over the last 3 years. You guys look at the max chart. It didn't have a crazy climb from the previous all-time high, right? But it still did go up. All right, it's kind of hard to get it on this, but $360 in 2017, and I think $410 was the all-time high, the actual all-time high. So this chart's kind of ass. It should be like up here a little bit, but I still think we have about a 3x in Litecoin, probably. That's just my opinion. Again, not financial advice. You guys do what you want. I am mining it. I'm not DCAing into it, but I probably should. It's not a bad idea. And Solana, actually, Solana's like really, what's the all-time high actually? Let's see. Where are we at? So it's down 50% or 45% over the past 2 years. Its all-time high was $259. This chart though is like I don't know. I'm not going to gauge it the same way I do Litecoin and stuff, but I still think Solana has a very good chance to go to like 500 minimum. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, if the ecosystem picks up, I don't see why it wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things coming for it, so we're gonna see what happens there. I guess it's just kind of one of those things. Did Uniswap drop down some pegs? I think it might have. Uniswap's going through some SEC Wells notice bullshit. I don't know what's going on there, but if you guys are into Uniswap, please keep me posted on that. Render is up to $8.14. It took a real dip down under $8. I bought some down there, actually. It's down 39.9% in about a month. So I still think Render is gonna do very well this bull run, because it actually has utility behind it, right? Like it renders things for companies. If you guys don't know what rendering is, like if I make YouTube videos, typically when you click so like on editing software, you got to click export, and it renders the video to get it ready to send, right? So that's what their company does on like a massive scale. Just kind of dumb it down for you guys, but that's pretty much that is. Dog with hat flips Caspa. The hell? I'm just kidding. It's not the first time. It's crazy though. $2.7 billion market cap on a picture of a dog with a hat. Its ticker is whiff. What in the hell is going on? Crypto KJ said Chainlink is a hang myself coin. I had like 25,000 back in the day for pennies. Bruh. That's terrible, bro. I'm sorry. Woo. You did that with another coin too, didn't you? Or ETCMC. Or ETC POW, as that was called, ETC POW. Caspa 11.59. It's up 0.9% on the day. I still think this has a good chance to freaking pop. It's going through its Rust what was it, the upgrade, and then they're going to be coming out with smart contracts. Once smart contracts come for this is like this could be a really big deal, and it's going to be mined out in, what is it, 2031 or something, 2036, I forget. I don't know, I forget. You guys let me know. Anyways, let's move on to the mining segment of things. I want to see what we got over here. We got the gold shell AL box on the top of the charts. You guys know I like to timestamp this. We can come back later and see how shitty it did. AL box, I think, is going to drop off a cliff, but we're going to have to see. It's $100 even today. Crazy for 180 watts. I mean, dude, listen, that is a dream machine. It is. That's crazy. $100 for 180 watts, dude. Man, if they weren't $14,000, I'd buy one. Like, if they weren't that much money. How much is that? What is it? $1,000 in 10 days. What was it, like 140 days? Is that what it would be? 140 days or so? Maybe you'd pay that thing off. I don't know. That's a real gamble because I don't know if it's gonna hold up. Anyways, the KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit mining Caspa, $99 a day. That's going down quick. That's going down quick. But you guys know the emission schedule shaves a little off every single month. We got the KS5 20 terahash unit at $94 a day. The KS5L 12 terahash unit, $52. We have the BM KS Max 11 terahash unit making $45 a day. Windminer K9 10.3 terahash unit making $44.35. We got the Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $32 a day. And the KS3M got kicked down 2 pegs. It's a $22.29 a day. Bruh. Terrible. The X16P 5.8 gigahashes. This is a ETC or ETH hash miner. Right now it's ETH W and ZIL. $24.09 a day. Crazy. Crazy. The Bitmain Antminer S21 Hydro 335 terahash unit. Look at this, Digibyte, top of the charts. I talked about this yesterday, actually. I was wondering if Digibyte was going to come back and take the top of the charts. $22.56 a day. Let's you know what, let's see real quick. Let's see how bad it is for this one. So let's see. Bitcoin. Wait, what? Wait, what? Is this not updated? Because Bitcoin should totally be on the top of the charts. You know what, let's go to the S19K and we'll see where that's at in a minute. Let's see, the Bitmain Antminer L7. I got one of these down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them. I pay 10 cents down there. I would be paying 30 cents up here. So this is the profit after 10 cents. It is at $12.36 a day. This is merge mining Litecoin and Doge. For those of you that don't know, it's a 3-year-old machine and they're coming out with an L9. I can't wait to get the specs on it. I don't think the specs have been dropped. If they have, please let me know in the chat. We have the Bitmain T21. Look at this. 190 terahash unit, making $11.43 a day on Digibyte. I feel like it should say Bitcoin. Weird. Let's check out the S19K Pro. Oh, look at this. Yeah, so this one's got Bitcoin on top of the charts. Strange. So I'm making $6.32 a day still, even after the halving. That's not too bad, actually. That's really not that bad. 10 cents kilowatt hour down at Terra Hosting. Let's see. How close is to Digibyte? Digibyte is 35 cents off. Not too bad. So if the profitability tanks on Bitcoin for some reason, yeah, Digibyte or Bitcoin Cash should be able to hold this up, right? That's crazy though. I'm kind of shocked. It's making that much money still. Weird. Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. This hasn't adjusted yet. This hasn't adjusted yet. It's throwing me off. That's why it hasn't adjusted yet. This is the yesterday's price, $12.95. That's why it's throwing me off. The actual profit is, oh wait, no, hold on. Yeah, no, that's right. Am I right or am I wrong? Please let me know, because it's usually profit after, right? So they should tell you the profit right here, unless that is the revenue. Man, this site's throwing me off right now. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. F it. It's not worth it. But anyways, $6.32, right? I feel like I was making this yesterday, but I don't know. Like profit wise after the electric is what it is. All right, let's move on to GPUs because I've been doing this long enough. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, I need to look at the KS0 Pro. How big of an oof this is. Look at that. 78 cents. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I think I'll be making like 30 cents because I'm paying 30 cents kilowatt hour. I gotta get these things in the solar trailer, but it's freaking pouring today. Pissed off. Damn it. All of them are off. I have 9 of them right here and they're all off. Anyways, GPUs, let's see what the most profitable coin is. Graham, Ironfish, and Pyron on the 4090s. The 4080 Super, Ironfish and Graham, top of the charts as well. Pretty much everything all the way down. Ironfish, Graham, some sort of form or fashion. Ironfish and Graham. 3090 is always different. Got Graham in here though, and Nur. Isn't that NER AI? We have Nexa as well and Chlor. Not really a fan of Nexa on the 3090 Ti. Nothing really popping out at me. Is this the Radeon 7? Is that what this one is? AMD? What is this card? AMD 7? Is that the Radeon 7? Am I wrong? Let me know. Time to offload my KS0 Pros. Honestly, Motu, once the price comes back for Caspa, I think you'll be all right. I mean, think about it, right? It's like, dude, it's like 90 watts for like, you probably make in a little while, like, you know, I mean, even if you make it 50 cents a day, it's really not that much, but it's not a lot in electricity either. So it's like kind of a cool little beginner minor unit, right? Whatever. It's Radeon 7. Okay, thank you. I was just wondering. The A5000 NER, Chlor, Conflux, Radiant, and Chlor as well. It's crazy. The AMD cars are usually good on Chlor, but the NVIDIA CMP 90HX and the A5000 have been Chlor for a little while at this point. But Ironfish and Graham are pretty much dual mining. That's the most profitable stuff. All right, check out the events calendar over here. Octaspace is going through a halving in 4 days. Sorry. Perfect. Is it a halving? Isn't it a fifth inning? I think you just say halving. I think it's a fifth inning in 4 days. So Octaspace, the deep in project, you guys don't know. We have Kevacoin in 21 days. Pyrin hash, or Pyrin rather, is actually going through a halving in 31 days. Ethereum Classic in 40 days. I'm actually excited about this one. I hope it helps pump the price. We will see though. We will see. All right, let's see new coins, see if there's anything on the list. Puppy coin. That's what the hell? This one was, did they redo this again? This was out a while ago. Why did they change the algo or something? Why did it say 5 days ago? 0 hash rate on the pools. I've seen this one before. That's not the newest one. This one was up top. Strange. This site's kind of a mess. Anyways, when you guys get off that site to look at anything, please do it at your own risk. All right, let's get into this. This is news throughout the halving yesterday. I want to see what they have to say over here. CNBC television, Bitcoin halving. Here's why it matters. Let's do it. Hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you all.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a big day for crypto as we expect Bitcoin to be having a halving. The supply of new Bitcoin is expected to be cut in half sometime tonight. And while it might be good news,
did he stick his tongue out far when he said halving?
For its price, it could be bad news for the miners and other institutions keeping the currency managed. Joining us now to explain all this is Meltem Demirors, advisor and former chief strategy officer at CoinShares. Meltem, welcome. Good to have you with us. In simple terms, what is going on here? What is happening?
Sure. The halving is a very descriptive term. The Bitcoin network uses a proof of work algorithm, which means that miners use energy and computation through these special chips called ASICs to validate blocks. They put transactions that are submitted into the network into these blocks, and people who submit transactions pay fees. Now, as a reward for doing this work, miners compete to earn the Bitcoin block reward. It started out at 50 Bitcoin per block, and then it has halved ever since then. So we went down to 25, 12.5, 6.5, and now 6.25, and now we're going down even more. So basically what that means is there's less inflation, less new Bitcoin mined. Perfect. And what that means for miners who currently are getting 80 to 90% of their revenue from that block reward and not from those transaction fees, it means their revenue potentially is going down.
Their revenue would go down because they're still going, and I guess their profitability, because they're going to still have to invest a set amount of capital, let's put it, to extract half as many Bitcoin or half as much block, right?
Most of you guys know, if anybody's just joining, the Bitcoin halving already happened. It was last night. I'm just catching up on some news.
Absolutely.
So you know.
But the other component here, right? So miners have fixed costs in the sense that they have chips that they buy, they have data centers that they operate. And what's really fascinating, the Bitcoin network has a $100 billion dedicated hardware and data center economy, over 20 publicly listed Bitcoin miners that command an aggregate market cap of about 20 billion. So this is a pretty big data center economy that's been built around Bitcoin. But what miners can do is they can use lower cost sources of power. So we see a lot of miners switching their facilities on or off, particularly in places like Texas, to take advantage of periods of very low pricing on the grid. And the other thing we see is new models emerging for how Bitcoin is creating more transaction fees through ordinals, which are NFTs on Bitcoin, through new tokens on Bitcoin, and all sorts of other innovation.
Well,
and can't they actually shut off when the power company needs them to, and they also get like some sort of incentive for doing that, if I'm not mistaken?
I understood about a third of what you were talking about there, but I'll take that. I'll take that. But let's cut to what I suspect an awful lot of viewers might be most interested in. This is not the first time there has been a halving. Far from it. It's happened several times before.
Didn't you just say that like 7 times?
But what has happened historically to the price of Bitcoin post a halving?
Absolutely. So the reason Bitcoiners like halvings is these 4-year cycles give us great data. And over the last 3 halving cycles we've seen similar patterns in terms of how Bitcoin's price reacts. Now, I love talking about flows. Bitcoin's price is largely driven by inflows and outflows. So what we've seen since the start of the year with the launch of the 9 new Bitcoin ETFs is over $10 billion of net inflows into Bitcoin just from the ETFs. Over the last 4 weeks or so, we've seen some net outflows, particularly as Bitcoin's price has hovered in the 60 to 65K range. What's unique about this halving, though, typically we would see a new all-time high for Bitcoin 9 to 12 months after a halving. This cycle, we saw Bitcoin hit an all-time high before the halving. So we saw a new all-time high for Bitcoin posted in March. That's pretty unusual. We also have these ETFs that are fundamentally changing the nature of flows into and out of Bitcoin. So I think all bets are off this halving. I'm expecting we'll reach new all-time highs before the end of the year. But again, this cycle is looking a little bit different than the last 3 we've seen.
All right. Thank you very much, Milton. We appreciate your...
I agree. That's DJ. That was a funny comment, by the way. All right, let's move on. Crypto world. The Bitcoin halving is set to shake up the crypto's price and the network's miners. Let's see what CNBC television over here has to say. Again, for anybody that's just joining, Bitcoin halving was yesterday evening, and it's very uneventful. It's like watching the ball drop. I think it's going to be exciting, and it's really not. it's just whatever. But usually 6 to 9 months after, we see some sort of pump. So let's do it.
The Bitcoin halving. The technical event sounds simple. Bitcoin miners get paid in Bitcoin to validate transactions, and every 4 years, that reward is halved. But the event is a big deal. Historically, the halving's cut to supply has led to huge rallies for Bitcoin. Just look at this price chart of Bitcoin from its first transaction in 2009. Each halving event has set the stage for a brand new bull run, new all-time highs, and new Bitcoin investors entering the market. Perfect. This time, things look a lot different for the world's largest cryptocurrency. Crypto World's Tanea McKeel explains why.
2024's Bitcoin halving is getting a lot of attention. The technical event that cuts the reward paid out to miners happens roughly every 4 years. In the past, it was only celebrated by a few of the cryptocurrency's biggest cheerleaders. This year, though, the halving is a hot topic.
Sometime in the next 12, 18 months, Bitcoin can be over 150,000.
Around the halving, where the amount of Bitcoin coming to market is cut in half. After that time period, you see another year of a bull market.
And the reason for all the attention? There are way more people who care about and invest in Bitcoin than there were in 2020 during the last halving. That's thanks to a wave of adoption during the last cycle and new investment options for crypto-curious investors like spot ETFs.
This was the defining moment, I think, of Bitcoin, at least, right, in this era of its history. Like, this was its kind of IPO-like moment. Pandora's box is now open for institutional adoption of the asset class.
Investors are excited because the halving has historically set the stage for Bitcoin's next bull cycle. The event cuts the number of new Bitcoin entering the network each day, and that means tighter supply.
Bitcoin now has a clear demand on a very scarce asset, and that asset is about to get even more scarce with Bitcoin halving.
That added scarcity often kickstarts Bitcoin's rally to new all-time highs. Looking back at the 2012, 2016, and 2020 halvings, Bitcoin's price ran up about 93 times, 30 times, and 8 times, respectively.
So we're probably going to see, I mean, obviously the price is way higher, so getting a, 2 or 3x is way harder than it was back then.
From its halving day price to its cycle top. Of course, past performance isn't indicative of future results, and the market is very different this time around.
Huge maturation of the asset class, infrastructure development, more people than ever being interested in it.
Investors are hoping that this halving event will also lead to big gains, but others think that those golden days of the halving supercharging the market might be behind us. Julio Moreno of CryptoQuant called the halving a once significant event. So, with all the hype and debate, what should you expect for Bitcoin's price in the near term?
So immediately after, if we're going to define that as like 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, like really short term, I don't expect you're going to see much at all. It's not a short-term phenomena. This is a $30 million a day reduction in sell pressure. That effect builds over time. So while that will have an effect on the market, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days after, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot.
And in the long term,
Right.
Well, if you noticed earlier, each halving event has provided diminishing returns. 2012 saw a bigger rally than 2016, and so on.
Yeah, but it's like it's you can't just look at it like that. I mean, you can, but like at the same time, it's the price of the coin itself is significantly higher. It is way harder to go 3 or 4x from this point than it was, back then.
There are also more ways than ever for investors to push Bitcoin's price higher.
I'll come out and say I am a skeptic on the fact that the diminishing returns will happen this year. I think this year we see a greater return than last cycle because, ultimately what drives an asset price up, any asset price, is not financial models, it's not cash flows, it's people hitting the buy button in their brokerage account.
Wait, is he saying that we're going to get more than an 8x? Is that what he's saying? Why he's not he doesn't feel like the diminishing returns part is the thing?
I think it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy where certainly, a reduction in issuance of Bitcoin does help the price by making it more scarce. But a large part of it is also just bringing it back into headlines, having it be top of mind. In practice, the ETF flows are substantially larger than any sort of increased issuance in Bitcoin from Bitcoin miners. So I think it's not more of a material change and more of just a change in perception of the asset.
Now, while this event may have a big effect on price, the most direct impact is on the Bitcoin miners. There are more than a dozen publicly traded miners on the network and thousands of smaller private ones around the globe constantly racing to process transactions and get paid in new Bitcoin. Because the event leads to a cut to rewards paid to miners directly, they'll be the first ones to feel the impact of the halving. Crypto World's Talia Kaplan explains how some of the largest publicly traded miners have expanded their businesses to prepare for this cut to their revenue. Bitcoin miners are preparing for the network's biggest event in 4 years.
Look at all those open airframes, GPUs. That's great. I missed that.
We have a halving coming up here, and Riot has a number of ambitious growth plans that we're scaling up our business with. So as the price of Bitcoin appreciates, we should appreciate from that in an outsized way.
The rally in Bitcoin really is what's keeping miners in business today. When you think about post-halving, the average cost to mine in Bitcoin is somewhere around between $20,000 to $25,000 a Bitcoin currently. Post the halving, that'll go to somewhere between $37,000 to $45,000 a Bitcoin, maybe $50,000 a Bitcoin in some cases for some miners. And with the Bitcoin price being at 67, 68, 70,000, it means that miners are still mining profitably. Though, what it really means is the miners with large scale will be able to mine profitably. The smaller miners will be put under more pressure.
I think that...
For sure. Real quick, Bitcoin's hash rate is actually 632 exahashes, so it's still up. It's a little bit down in the last 24 hours, 1.83% in the last 24 hours. But like, if you guys know, like right here, if we look at the blocks, again, after the halving, dude, this guy hit the last block was 37.63 Bitcoin reward. That's insane. And honestly, after that, the next couple blocks, 4.49, 6.99, 16.07, like those are crazy block rewards. Crazy block reward. Look at the price. Look at the money. It's over $1 million. 6.99 is $446,000. It's insane. You imagine? So like all these guys, like hell no, I ain't shutting off. And I mean, I'd be right there with them because that's crazy.
policy failures in the space. You know, we already saw in the last market, there were a couple bankruptcies, both in the public and the private space. I think we're going to see that again. So I think that there's going to be great opportunity on an M&A basis. We're thinking about the facilities or the data centers that miners are operating in. If there's a
Jim C in the chat said the guy who hit the last block was a solo miner. $2 million, $2.4 million, 37.63 Bitcoin. That dude better be freaking partying today hard. That's crazy.
The data center full of old equipment that is no longer efficient. We'd love to buy the facility and move in.
So what exactly is the Bitcoin halving? Miners on the network get paid in Bitcoin for verifying transactions. And every 4 years, the supply of new Bitcoin created to reward miners gets cut in half.
Real quick, sorry. Shea Mining said that are only the fees. 37 Bitcoin block was more like 43 Bitcoin block because you have the block reward also. Interesting. Where does it say that? Because I can't figure out how to read this site. I was wondering the same exact thing. So it's actually, it was higher. It was a higher block. It doesn't tell you though. Like it just says output fee. I don't see any like what the full block was. I don't know how to check it. So if anybody knows how to read this site, please let me know because it's confusing as shit.
This process is hard-coded into the Bitcoin protocol itself, meaning no one can change it. This process takes place every 210,000 blocks. A block is a collection of verified transactions grouped together. With blocks being validated roughly every 10 minutes, that works out to about every 4 years. Now, the halving affects the rate at which new Bitcoins are brought into circulation. The supply of Bitcoin is finite. Only 21 million will ever exist. Cutting mining rewards means fewer Bitcoin will enter the market every day. That makes Bitcoin more scarce after each halving. Bitcoin prices have historically risen after past halving events, so for investors, it could mean big returns. For miners, it could mean big losses. If they don't find ways to become more efficient, some miners could even go out of business.
Yeah, jingle mining. We need that jazz miner for Bitcoin. Just saying.
Think about the Bitcoin rewards as, you know, the pie got smaller and all the miners that exist, it's about the size of that pie. We think that there will be miners that are less efficient and can't handle that revenue shock. So we think as many as 30% or 15 to 30% of miners will actually have to turn off, shut down.
I think if you look globally, potentially about 15% of the capacity may come under pressure. And by that, I mean that those operations may be unprofitable. And so those miners that have machines that are above the global average in energy consumption will likely come under pressure. So we'll have to see, but I think most of the publicly traded miners are fairly well positioned at this point.
The first halving event took place in 2012, 4 years after the first block was mined on the network. Jump to the most recent halving, 12.5 new Bitcoins were added to the network at the beginning of 2020. In May, that number was cut in half to 6.25. This latest halving will drop rewards to around 3.125, and that process will continue until all 21 million coins have been mined. The expectation is that should happen in about 116 years from now.
It goes down into decimals. So, like, in my opinion, the last, this was probably the most important halving with the institutional adoption, right? But the next halving is probably the last one or the second to last one that actually really is going to affect things. That's just my opinion.
Riot is positioned to exit 2024 mining more Bitcoin per day than it is right now, despite the halving occurring. We are scaling up our operations by almost a factor of 3, and we are implementing an ongoing power strategy that helps decrease our energy costs and gives us an industry-leading cost of production. Our direct cost per Bitcoin in 2023 was just about $7,500 a coin. Now that increases with the halving, but with the price appreciating at a faster rate, we think we are in a very good spot alongside everything we're executing on this year.
Miners are expanding their footprint to boost their capacity in an effort to limit their losses post-halving. Riot acquired more than 31,000 mining machines in February. That same month, CleanSpark announced it completed the acquisition of 3 Bitcoin mining data centers in Mississippi, which boosted the company's operating hash rate. Earlier this month, Marathon Digital closed a previously announced acquisition of a 200-megawatt Bitcoin mining data center in Texas.
The benefit of owning and operating these sites is that it essentially lowers our cost to operate. It lowers our cost to mine Bitcoin. because we're now taking out the middleman, if you would. The other thing that's been a very positive impact of this is we've been able to acquire these sites at lower than replacement cost, meaning a cost below what it would have cost us to build them in the first place. So this is a great way of kind of being able to expand quickly, leverage other people's capital. They build the sites, and then we come in when the market gets a little weaker for sites and acquire the sites. And it's been a very good strategy for us so far, but we'll continue to acquire sites, and our objective is to be predominantly owned and operated going forward.
You need to be efficient in order to survive, and Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining is no different to any other industry.
Phil Harvey is the founder and CEO of Saber56, a hosting provider and crypto mining consultant.
I figured it out. Sorry, I'm over here messing with it. Reading the chat. So Crypto KJ, I didn't see what you were saying, but if you scroll down on this site, click reward right here, and it adds another category. And that's where you see right here. So the reward, the block reward was 40.75 for the last block before the halving. The actual, what he got was 37.63. That's how you do it. Interesting. Damn, dude. That's crazy. This one, 32. Jeez. Man, these friggin' blocks. That's crazy. Can you imagine? God, that's crazy.
Expects to see consolidation among miners following the upcoming halving.
Now we're seeing in the space a lot of mergers and acquisitions taking place because the power just isn't there for people to go into. So those underlying assets, the power purchase agreements, PPAs, are becoming extremely lucrative. So yes, there will be miners that don't have the capital in order to reinvest, and therefore, provided they have a lucrative underlying power asset, will become an M&A target.
So apparently I just got to click on it. We'll see. We click on this. Let's see. If you click on the number itself, brings you to a new page. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, reward. Okay, yeah, so you can just either add the column or you can read it here. This site's awesome, actually. I'm gonna bookmark this so I have it. All right, let's move on. Crypto world, CNBC television, Bitcoin rises to 64,000 in the final hours before the halving. Let's see what else they had to say. I don't know if they show the same video. I think they do at the end of this. We'll skip it, but I want to see what the news of the day was. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin...
Guys, can you hit that like button? 193 people here, 64 likes. God damn. I hate asking, but YouTube makes me.
Rises back to the $64,000 mark to end the week. A New York jury convicts a crypto trader in the Justice Department's first ever cryptocurrency market manipulation case. And in the final hours before the halving, we explore why this time is different from those in the past.
Oh, snap. Who was that? I want to know who that was about.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Jordan Smith. Digital currencies are making a run higher to close out the week as we enter the final hours before the Bitcoin halving. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin jumped back above $64,000, a gain of about 1.5%. Ether traded a little under $3,100, and Solana rose to $146. Things have been a little unsteady for Bitcoin in this final run-up to the halving. The cryptocurrency fell as low as the $59,000 level in recent days as the economic and geopolitical pressures are mounting. Today's gains weren't enough to push Bitcoin higher for the week, though. It's fallen more than 3% in the past 7 days, and Ether, it's dropped more than 4% in that same time. As Bitcoin moved lower this week, the spot Bitcoin ETFs also felt the pressure. CoinDesk reports that outflows for the ETFs reached $4.3 million on Thursday, adding to a 4-day streak of withdrawals. The question will be how markets respond post-halving. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. All right, let's talk about the top stories. Matt Hogan, Bitwise Asset Management's CIO, joined Squawk Box this morning to discuss markets and whether Bitcoin can be considered a store of value or safe haven asset, especially amid rising tensions in the Middle East. This morning, Israel launched retaliatory strikes against Iran. Crypto prices were first impacted by Iran's unprecedented drone strike against Israel last Saturday. That's when Bitcoin was hovering around $70,000. The next day, the cryptocurrency hit a low of $60,985, according to Coinmetrics.
Can we just all get along, please? We just all like stop with all this war shit.
Later rebounded a bit and remained volatile for the rest of the week.
There are a lot of cross currents in Bitcoin's price right now. There's ETF demand, there's the halving, there's tax related selling, and of course there's these geopolitical events. I think you can try to read too much into the short-term trading activity. It's better to pan out. If you look big picture, it's done a great job of protecting us against inflation post-COVID. I think eventually it will be a good hedge against geopolitical disruptions, but it's a bit too much to ask for Bitcoin to both be a perfect risk-off asset and deliver exponential returns. It's an emerging risk-off asset. When it gets to be fully mature and is a perfect hedge for the events like we saw in Iran and Israel over the past week or so, those exponential returns will be gone. So I think you have to keep that big picture in mind. Bitcoin is still growing into what it will eventually be.
Next, a New York federal jury convicted a crypto trader in what the DOJ calls a multi-million-dollar scheme that was the department's first ever crypto open market manipulation case. Prosecutors said 28-year-old Abraham Eisenberg fraudulently obtained about $110 million worth of crypto from the Mango Markets exchange and its customers by artificially driving up the price of both futures contracts and the Mango token. He then borrowed crypto based on the value of the inflated assets without planning on paying it back. Eisenberg, who was living in Puerto Rico, now faces a maximum possible sentence of 20 years behind bars for wire and commodities fraud, as well as commodities manipulation charges. He's scheduled to be sentenced in Manhattan federal court in July. Last, the SEC argues that Justin Sun traveled to the US extensively during the time that his tokens were promoted, offered, and sold, which gives sway to the agency's lawsuit against the Tron founder and his company. The SEC made that argument in this court filing yesterday, responding to Sun's request a few weeks ago to dismiss the lawsuit. In the request for dismissal, the defendants argued that the SEC lacked the jurisdiction, a claim that Sun made when he was on our show back in May. In the filing, the defendants said that the SEC's case stretches beyond the regulator's scope and that extending the US securities laws to cover predominantly foreign conduct go too far and should be rejected. However, the SEC argues that the court has personal jurisdiction over the defendants because they, quote, purposefully took actions in and directed toward the United States by doing things like promoting TRX and BTT tokens to US investors. The SEC sued Sun, Tron, BitTorrent Foundation, and Rainberry in March of last year, alleging the groups offered and promoted unregistered securities, along with committing fraud and market manipulation. We reached out to Justin Sun's team for comment, but didn't hear back right away.
A big oof.
All right, for our main story, the Bitcoin halving is just a few hours away. Countdown on NiceHash.
I'm pretty sure. Did you say countdown on NiceHash? Hold on.
Estimates that it should happen sometime between tonight and tomorrow.
It's like countdown on NiceHash says it should happen like next week at some point.
So what exactly is this much anticipated
They're always
event?
wrong every single time.
Bitcoin miners get paid in Bitcoin to validate transactions, and every 4 years that reward is halved. Historically, the halving's cut to supply has led to significant rallies for Bitcoin, but with prices rallying so much in the run-up to the halving event this
Look at this guy. Just puts these Bitcoins on this PCB, scratch the shit out of those pins. No problem. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
year, things look a lot different. So some say to expect a huge rally, while others, like JP Morgan analysts, say the price could go down right after the event. Crypto World's Tanea McKeel explores why the halving is so uncertain for markets this year.
This is a different video.
2024's Bitcoin halving is getting a lot of attention.
Hold on. This is the same one. This is the same video, right? Just wanna... Is it the same video? It is. All right, it's the same video. All right, we're gonna move on. Let's see. Mr. Lark Davis. Will Bitcoin go up forever? I'm wondering. The same thing. I think it will, but not immediately. Let's see what he's got to say over here. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you all. Let's do it.
There was a time when the Bitcoin price first crossed $10.
I haven't seen this yet.
Can you imagine that? And holders figured out, well, I better sell it now. It can't go up forever, can it? Well, it did. Almost 10,000x since that day in 2012. And people are still wondering, will it ever stop going up? Well, let's look at some reasons why this idea that Bitcoin might just simply go up forever isn't actually as outrageous as you might think it sounds. And to start to understand, you have to understand first that Bitcoin's not going away. There are two parts of this statement that we have to untangle a bit first. First is the go up part. Second is the forever part. Now let's start with the forever part, because it's a pretty bold statement, right? Is Bitcoin here to stay? I want to say yes, and here's why. Bitcoin is a major invention that merges the fields of cryptography, computer science, and monetary theory, as well as really meme culture, if you think about it. There's no way to uninvent Bitcoin. It's out of the box. There's no way to unsee what the world has seen. The white paper has been distributed across the internet. The software is run on thousands of nodes and many more miners active in every country on Earth. It's the biggest, strongest computer network on the planet. Everyone has heard about it. It has great brand value, huge recognition, and huge power. Keep in mind, there can only be one original cryptocurrency. It is Highlander, and Bitcoin has won the game. True, there were attempts before Bitcoin, but BTC was the first to break through and be the winner. No coin will ever be able to copy Bitcoin's property of being the OG, of being first. But Lark, what about MySpace, the social media platform? You know, yeah, sure, it was ousted a few years later by Facebook, right? Sure. Okay, I get it. I understand.
Wait,
But MySpace was a crappy product that had no mobile app and also hadn't penetrated through all the layers of society. It was a pretty niche idea. Facebook worked well, and it worked well on mobile, and then it spread further than MySpace ever had in a very short amount of time. It was the better product.
Well, wasn't it made for like college students or something at first? And then it like turned into like a everybody.
So it was really in a different league. Another thing to consider is that in crypto, being the first comes with unique properties. Sure, the first ever brand of vacuum cleaner can indeed be outcompeted by later market entrants. But this isn't so easy in the case of inventions and technological innovation that have to do with network effects. More on that in a minute, but it's a very important point, so keep it in mind. Finally, Bitcoin was conceived as an experiment without an expectation of profit for the founder or the founders, unlike all the blockchains that have come after it. This so-called virgin birth, or the immaculate conception of Bitcoin, although Satoshi does have a million coins, but, you know, he hasn't spent them, so I guess it was that. Anyway, combined with its elusive founder, Satoshi, being unknown, are reasons that a group of fervent believers gathered around the orange, warm, embracing glow of Bitcoin. But that's religious fervor, Lark. Yeah, it's kind of true. It's a bit like that sometimes. And guess which memes have stood the test of time for millennia? Religious texts. Don't throw anything at me. So, while I don't know about forever, it is highly unlikely that Bitcoin is going away anytime soon. But will it keep going up? Now let's talk about the go up part. That's the exciting part, right? And pull out the Bitcoin power law model. It isn't new, but it has gained renewed attention over recent months. It has been holding up pretty well since the earliest BTC price data started flowing in. We all know that Bitcoin's price increase is not linear. Just to illustrate this, it took the orange coin roughly a year in 20.
I like this chart. Look at that. It says 2011 all the way up to, obviously, it's just continuing to where we are now. But man, that's kind of cool, actually.
2011 to move from $1 to $5. Extrapolating this trend of $4 per year in a linear way would bring us to a current price of around $50 for Bitcoin. Nah, clearly Bitcoin has advanced a lot faster than a linear model would indicate. Okay, so exponential then. What if we'd extrapolate the 5x in price in 2011, 12 times over 2012 to 2024? So 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Putting this in an exponential calculator gives us a current Bitcoin price of $240 million per coin. Sounds good, but it doesn't meet reality, does it? It's just overshooting the mark by a little bit, right? Which, by the way, was the main criticism of the stock to flow model, a proper model for Bitcoin price predictions that assumes exponential growth. Now, here's a graph of the stock to flow model. The problem with exponential price growth is that the numbers get really, really wacky, really, really fast. We would be able, at a $15 million per Bitcoin 5 years from now, based on that. Even people who believe in the stock to flow model assume that it will break at some point. It's been good so far, but some models can only go so far. The price can't go up forever exponentially, can it? So back to the power law model. If we look carefully at Bitcoin's price, we see the following. BTC's growth in price by an order of magnitude requires...
Look where we are now. Look at this blue level, right? As we go on after the halving, gets into this, you know, red, orange stage. And obviously, when the euphoria stage happens, you got to sell.
A similar but not identical change in
to.
orders of magnitude of time. More precisely, for the price to increase tenfold, the amount of time elapsed from the Genesis block must increase by about 50%. This means that in relative terms, 10x price increases happen at a constant rate, but in absolute terms, you'll have to wait longer and longer and longer for that 10x to happen. Now, what does the power law model actually predict? Well, the fair average value for BTC would reach $1 million around 2033. I'd buy that number. That sounds realistic. Up, right? And if your Bitcoin does go up forever, then you may want a tax efficient way to do that, by the way, and to keep more.
That's what Kathy Wood's claiming, right? It's $1 million and a half or so by 2030
of your money for you, which is where today's sponsor.
I knew he was going to do something stupid. All right, let's move on.
Video now. Let's talk about the number of users. So let's take a step back and ask, how do we even value this thing called Bitcoin? Well, it's a payments network primarily. I know there's other use cases popping up, but there are frameworks for valuing networks. For example, Metcalfe's law. It states that a network's value is proportional to the square of the number of network participants. In other words, the value more than doubles when the number of participants double. Take an old-fashioned telephone network.
It's much easier to understand.
Imagine that you live in a village with 200 people. Well, it's nice if 100 people have a phone connection, isn't it? But if that amount doubles to 200, suddenly having a phone in that village becomes much more valuable, even essential, because everyone can now reach everyone. And if you're not in the network, you're excluded, right? In the case of Bitcoin, we count wallets, of course, instead of landline phone connections. Here's a glass node chart plotting the BTC price in black versus the number of addresses. Both lines go up in tandem.
But somebody made a good point about this the other day. Most of us have multiple addresses, right? So every well, you see this line going up, right? This doesn't mean that's like that many more people have gotten addresses. It just means more of us or new people did get more wallets, right? So yeah, Monroe, yeah, exactly. Mo said I opened 3 more wallets yesterday, and that's, yeah, exactly. We have more addresses, but it doesn't really mean that's that many more people are into it yet. You know what I mean? So
zooming in, for example, February 2016, you would see 127 million addresses and a price of roughly $400. Currently, the Bitcoin network has 1.2 billion addresses. Now, not all those have balances, but addresses, okay? So the number of addresses has done a 10x, and the price has done roughly 100x. Here we see Metcalfe's law in action. Network growth leads to a value growth. That's the square of that value. Now, what is reassuring about this chart is that the number of addresses just keeps climbing up without even looking back. And it's going to keep doing that forever as long as Bitcoin's around, which leads us to the adoption of technology more broadly. This chart here plots the adoption curves of a lot of different technologies, including households with televisions and the number of people with mobile phones. Critical technological innovations. As you can see, even the technologies that had the fastest adoption, it took those 15 to 20 years to get to a 10% or more adoption rate. And that's where Bitcoin is right now.
Railroad miles, steel production, cement production. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. And this is way back in 1830. Jeez. And if you look right now, it's kind of a cool chart actually to look at. That's neat. That's really neat. Where's so mobile phones right here? Mobile phones. Bam.
15 years into its history, these are mostly lines of successful tech adoptions. Here's a similar chart, but with the curves aligned from the same starting point. Notice, by the way, there's also a gray line depicting the number of miles in a trolley per capita. It dropped off the cliff around 1950. Not every technology keeps getting adopted forever and ever and ever. There is technological disruption.
That was kind of a neat
And here's
chart.
some perspective too. Gold, our old shiny buddy gold. Okay, I know. Kind of boomer money is a bit boring, but let's step away from BTC and look at the godfather of store value, gold. It recently reached new all-time highs. Yes, my gold bags, finally. So gold's apparently also going up forever, isn't it? In a sense, yes, because fiat currencies such as the dollar are constantly devalued, aka they go down forever. Gold goes up forever in price. But there's a caveat. When looking at the purchasing power, that's where things get a bit interesting. Gold has actually been relatively constant, which is fascinating beyond belief. A century ago, the same amount of gold as today could buy you a home. Can you believe that? That's insane. In Roman times, an ounce of gold could buy you a fancy toga and a luxurious pair of sandals. These days, that amount of gold buys you a designer suit and a pair of nice shoes. That's wild, isn't it? It's kept its purchasing power all this time. If Bitcoin's adoption curve keeps looking very healthy, and if it cements itself as a store of value of the digital age, then it too will at some point stabilize in terms of purchasing power. And as long as fiat currencies will keep devaluing, which newsflash, they're going to keep doing that, then Bitcoin will indeed go up forever. It may sound like a bold claim, but I think there's a fair chance that it plays out kind of something like that. Thanks for watching.
Pretty interesting. Shout out to Log for that video. That was actually really cool. That was a really neat video. All right, let's get into the recap segment of things. Let's see. Let's go back over this. Actually, you know what? Let's check out the price real quick. Bitcoin $64,060. Looks great. Perfect. Ethereum $3,071. Man, I think we're gonna see an explosive gain towards the end of this year with everything. That's just my opinion. Everything's gonna go up. It's crazy. It's crazy. Don't quote me on that, but do what you want. Do what you will. $560 on BNB. Is anybody still into BNB? Anybody? ICP is up 7.6% on the day. Looking pretty good. And man, I think let's see. Can I go to let's see, Bitcoin hash rate? I mentioned this earlier. What the hell? This might be a flashbang. Yep, it is. There we go. Dark mode. Nice. Let's see. Hash rate, terahashes. Right now, we are at 641 million terahashes. Isn't that exahashes at that point? 641 exahashes. Isn't that how you say that? So things really haven't fallen off, right? And obviously, this is in lieu of the Bitcoin blocks that are actually going nuts. So again, if we go back to, let's just go back to the halving, the 840,000 block, or 1,000th block, hit by via BTC. Let me just make sure that this reward thing is checked off. Going over here, you can see the block reward on the last block mined for Bitcoin was 40.75 Bitcoin. That's crazy. Then they made 37.63, which is $2.4 million. That's crazy. It's so crazy. But look at it again, after the halving, it was like it never even happened, right? Maybe this guy got the short end of the stick, but he still got 7.61. Yeah, it's like it never even happened. 7.61 Bitcoin block reward, 10.12 with 19.19, 27.13, 32.95, 26.28, 20.81. Like, why would you stop? Why would you shut your miners off at this point? Jesus, like, look at these freaking rates. Look at all these blocks. Look at all in the 20s. 17, 16. That's crazy. That's insane. No wonder people aren't shutting off. All right, the numbers are dwindling. It's going down. It's going down. It's in 14, 12, 13, 15, still 16, top one. Freaking nuts. Look at this. So we're at, I don't even know where we're at right now. What block are we at? Let's see. 840,077. Okay, so we'll just say 77th block. 14 Bitcoin block reward. It's crazy. No wonder people aren't shutting off. So we're not going to see like a pullback for a while, I would say. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's see. We experienced these crazy rewards back in the day on ETH when they implemented all EMV and burn mechanisms. It did not last. Yeah, I obviously this won't last. This definitely won't last. But I wonder why. Like, why do the block rewards get so big? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? And that would be a cool ticker. Somebody said, why don't they show the times these were hit? Good question. I don't know. There's no ticker to find that either. This site's dope though. I love this site. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, Ordies, that's right. Ordinals. Runes, that too, yeah. That's right. That's right. It's crazy though. It's crazy to see. Just to see this. Unknown. They don't even know who hit that. It's crazy. It's so weird to see. Man, this site's cool. This site's cool to like kind of dig into shit, but man, I don't know. I think we're gonna be fine for a little while. Price will go up later. It might have eventual pullbacks right towards like the end of the month or whatever. I mean, you guys are gonna see things pull back, right? Eventually. Bitcoin's not gonna, it's not gonna go up forever, but it will go up eventually, right? Let's see. L9 is staring back at me. Where is the L9? Do you have any of the information on the L9? Let's see. Antminer. Oh, I hit the caps button, damn it. Antminer L9. Let's see. Right here. Oh, there is information on it. Look at that. 17.6 gigahashes. Shit, I didn't see the information on this yet. So, well, this one says 16.2. Oh, there's two versions. Ooh, two versions. 17.6 gigahashes. That's not a... Is that really a bad price? 3,400 watts. Is that a good price? A freaking L7 still going for like 6K. It's crazy. I hope it crashes back down to 100 air. Me too, but you know, imagine how much panic that would have. Yeah, I ignore you. Sorry. Crypto KJ. Appreciate you. I don't know who this company is. I have no idea. Let's see. Crypto Miner Bros. Let's see. They don't like me either. They only like those guys that do open mouth thumbnails in Panda. That's it. 15,599 bucks. Shipping costs to your door included in the below price. So that's the cool thing about them. They don't them in Terra hosting, they do or Terra hashes rather, they do straight to your door. No taxes and tariffs. Like you're paying everything in this one price, so that's good. So it's like $1,000 less for the... I would buy the bigger one if I was gonna do that. That's crazy. Pretty neat. I don't know. I don't know what this Vipera place is, but that's cool. That's cool. Cool specs. At least we got some specs on it. 16.2 gigahashes. Let's go to real quick. Go check out my L7. I got the 9050, which is here. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I can go to this. I can go to LTC. There's usually a calculator down here. Gigahashes. What was it? 17? 17.6. 17.6. Let's see what we'll get. So that's... What? That's not right. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? 17.6 gigahashes. What am I doing wrong? That's not right. Is that right? That can't be right. Let me see. What are you guys saying in the chat? Oh, that's right. It's not including Doge. Ah, damn it. You're right. You're right. Damn it. That's what it is. Oh, shit. Let me open this. Let's go down here too. Yeah, but how does that work? How do you calculate that then? 17.6, 28 bucks. Would that work? Could you do it like that? And add the number? That'd be pretty close, right? Like 30 bucks a day, 32 bucks a day, 33 bucks a day. Is that right? My kid says that. Oh, that's all right. Pocket change, yes. Yep. He like dies laughing. So that's around $35 without electric. Yeah. Yeah, so that's not bad, I guess. So would that technically be 17.6 gigahashes on each algo? Is that how you do that though? Is that right? It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. But it's $30. Hold on. All right, so if it's 35 bucks a day, if you're paying, oh, what was hold on, what was Crypto Miner Bros? Oh shit, I X'd them out. Whatever. God damn it. All right, let's see. We're just gonna, for shits, we're gonna take this price, 16,000 divided by $35. Oh god.
Bruh.
Nope. Year and a half to pay off. I mean, that's at this price too, right? Like LTC is gonna have a run up, so I'm sure. And in Doge, like they're both really low right now, so I get that. So I mean, realistically, like this could be well over $50 a day, easy, $70 a day, depending on, you know, the price of these two coins. So it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's not that much, to be honest, but hey, here's what it is. All right, guys, listen. Love you all. We're gonna go hang out with Mr. Crypto Mikkel later on tonight. We're actually gonna be doing a fun live stream, Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live. We're going to do basically rate the coin, right? Kind of like what DJ did, if you guys seen that, but I want to do it collective as a group. If DJ Mines wants to join, that's fine too. And I'm not gonna like do the pay money to move shit. Like, just we're gonna leave it where it's at. But I want to kind of go over, see what you guys think about these coins and where you guys rate them. I think it'd be pretty cool. I didn't know it was an actual site until Mr. Fully Electric actually sent it to me. And let me see if I can pull it up. I'll show it to you guys real quick before we get out of here. Let's see. It's called Create a Rank. I thought DJ made this, man. I thought like DJ was like really smart for a minute, and then I realized it was an actual site. So I gotta put all these logos in here and shit. But we're gonna do this tonight. This is gonna be pretty fun. We're gonna see where you guys want to rank coins and all that. So 9:45 Eastern Standard Time. We will do this later on tonight. And if you guys can't catch it live, then obviously you can watch the next day. But I appreciate you all. You're all fantastic. Let's get over to Mr. Crypto Mikkel's stream. He's going live right now. And until later on tonight, I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out. Have a good day.
Perfect.
Eat shit, Gary.